Hey, what's up guys, this is Oakley and we're going to be playing some awesome Medieval 2. I'm going to be playing as Venice, as you can see here, arrayed out with some vastly armored guys, just tons and tons of rank upon rank of heavily armored guys. Venetians are crazy when it comes to that. My opponent's going to be Portugal, so let's go ahead and get to the build. My main line here is going to be this Venetian heavy infantry, so 4 of those, and then I have Venetian archers screening in front of that. 1 unit of handgunners positioned to the front. You can see all of these guys with so much plate armor, they can take a beating for sure. In front of that, feudal knights, kind of peppering the front. On the right flank, I have 2 more mobile infantry, the dismounted feudal knights. Normally these guys look super badass, but in this case they're not that impressive considering their more armored counterparts. I have done the same thing on this wing with dismounted feudal knights. And then I have a little bit more of a maneuverable wing position all the way over here on the far left. Dismounted broken lances in this case, with handgunners in the front. Knights Templar are going to be screening, and my General's Bodyguard are going to be reinforcing in the rear. So I'm going for a very spread out approach. Just want to start harassing and laying down the fire. My opponent has the Portuguese force. He has a lot of these conquistadors. His cavalry build is rather interesting. So he has his conquistador, General's Bodyguard. He actually brought 3 General's Bodyguard. There's 2 more over here, and a conquistador in the middle, so lots of heavy cav. I think he has my cav beat. In the rear, dismounted conquistadors. These guys also extremely well armored, so it's going to be a battle of the armored forces. In the middle, he's got some light infantry, the sword militia, just to get in amongst my ranks, and then some heavy dismounted knights, dismounted conquistadors. Pushing on the right flank is going to be conquistadors and Portuguese knights, so he's doing a heavy push, forcing my lines back. In the front, screening this, he's going to have these aventuros, which are going to be these pikes, so a good move. Just sending these guys forward to screen his units, absorbing a lot of my fire and kind of allowing his guys to push forward. We missed a little bit of the action here of my guys getting charged by his General's Bodyguard here. My Knights Templar are going to be getting a decent engagement, especially with my dismounted lances in on that fight to help reinforce. General's Bodyguard caught out in the open a little bit. He's going to pull out of his cav, but all of his moves here were basically done to, rush my guys, not allow me to get the skirmishing advantage like I was anticipating. And then initial disruption was done by his cavalry. Now you can watch all along the line. Pike's doing a good job of doing initial disruption. My guys, Venetian heavy infantry, are very good. They'll chew through his men. But here comes wave upon wave of his guys. My Venetian archers not being able to do the kiting they would have otherwise liked. My lines here in the front are going to hold steady. However, we're getting charged by tons and tons of infantry. These are going to be his light guys, so I'm not too worried about that. However, the heavy infantry column is coming in. He's going to just start to surround me. This is getting kind of scary. My outer perimeter here, Venetian heavy infantry, is going to get run over by his General's Bodyguard. More dismounted guys in the back, going to be taking some hits. I do have most of my cavalry uncommitted, as opposed to my opponent having committed most of his. So he's going to come and try and intercept my massive cavalry force that I'm sending around the flank to try and get some of his General's Bodyguard units. Pushing the flank, and I'm just trying to commit here. Breaking through the center. He's going to take out my archers. My main line is also breaking there, so my heavy infantry getting cut to pieces somehow by his spearmen, backed up by other forces. So I am all out collapsing down through the center. I only have a couple units holding strong. My Venetian heavy archers here are going to be getting some nice reinforcing shots. My saving grace is going to be these handgunners that were getting some awesome volleys to support my men. They're now going to start to pivot and support this front. This is where I'm trying to hold strong. I actually have 2 units of heavy gunners. Going to be here unleashing against his conquistadors. I'm going to disengage my heavy gunners and just continue to get the shots on. Over in this melee brawl, it seems like I'm going to be winning out, although it's going to be a grinding fight again because conquistadors are some of the best infantry in the game. Once they get their charge off, they're nigh unstoppable. So I'm having to pour a lot into that. I've been able to break these conquistadors with the concerted fire of my handgunners. So like I said, these guys are going to be helping me to create a buffer between the region in the middle where I've absolutely been destroyed by his huge swarming tactics. So they're going to create a buffer, allow me to win this flank and then start pushing forward slowly but surely. He's got a couple light infantry in the back who are now going to come back and try and stem the tide of my my advance on this side. He's going to try and re-engage, but my heavy infantry are here to tango, hold those guys back. He's going to send in some more reinforcements. More conquistadors. This could be problematic for me. I do still have some of my Venetian archers finally going to be able to get the shots they wanted off. I have Venetian archers continuing to fire into this mess, and now the battle has slowed down somewhat. Most of his units are going to be engaged. These light units being pretty good for just providing overwhelming numbers. On this flank over here, my cavalry has gotten into a rather shaky fight. Although I do have the numbers advantage, he may have the quality with these conquistadors. But that's fine. At this point, I just want to neutralize his cav. If I can get rid of his cav, then look, I have all these archers in the back. And they're going to be specifically picking apart some of his guys. So now that his rush has been basically ground to a halt, now I can start to get nice advantages with my archers. Target-rich environments here. And I'm actually going to kill his enemy general, which is great. In the center here, kudos to my guys holding strong. I don't know how these dismounted feudal knights are still hanging in on this fight. They should be routing against all these numbers. So, yeah, only a military genius could win this fight. Nonetheless, they're holding there strong. And now, again, most importantly, heavy gunner is going to roll up. And the morale penalties that these guys can inflict are going to be larger than the actual damage that they do. And there you go, it's going to start to break one by one his units. I have some more support from my handgunners breaking the dismounted feudal knights. So piecemeal, we're going to be breaking his guys in there. Get a successive rout. I'm going to be trying to come to the rescue of my knights, who are now down to how many men? 20 men and routing. Over here, my cavalry was broken. He still has some conquistadors. And look at this mound of men remaining. So now he's free to chase after my guys.
We are victorious.
But I have enough archers to take out his remaining guys, and there he has admitted defeat. My opponent admitted defeat at this point, mostly because I was able to finally get the edge on this front, and then he knew with my heavy gunners and archers I could shoot everything he had to pieces. With the loss of his general, it was pretty decisively in my favor at that point. But nonetheless, I was pretty scared by that initial rush. He really caught up my archers early on. They didn't get that many kills, but a fun battle nonetheless. Heavy infantry versus heavy infantry. Usually you see big cavalry rushes in Medieval 2, and it's always nice to see the infantry brawls. The men remaining, I came out superior in that engagement. He had a lot of light troops who got chewed up in that fight, but he had very much a rush build. But he did knock off a lot of my men as well. Let's take a look at some of the battle statistics and see if anyone stands out for us. Casualties inflicted, 253. So my Venetian heavy infantry, some of them just owning my opponent. Knights Templar doing pretty well, and handgunners, you see, not doing too much, 21 and 27 kills, but overall it was the morale penalties that they inflicted that were really doing work. My Venetian archers, kind of a waste, 57, 45, 44, doing okay for their price. That I wish they would have done better. Dismounted feudal knights kind of doing their best against the conquistadors. My opponent just had some pretty good infantry and pretty good cavalry. So I was pretty lucky. I think the handgunners there kind of saved the day for me. So always interesting to bring these primitive gunpowder units to a melee brawl like that. Very interesting. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.